Most men feel abandoned by society, and the problem is only continuing to get worse by the day. Today's video comes from Kid Greatness. His channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check him out and support him. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of men feeling abandoned by society and how this is going to affect all of us going forward. Guys, don't forget to follow us on Rumble. Our Rumble will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go and subscribe over there because you never really know what will happen on this platform. Also, don't forget to check out Angry's Crypto Academy. Hard times are coming. ATMs will stop working. Banks will chain the doors. Protect your wealth and safeguard your future with crypto. At Angry's Crypto Academy, we teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. And we also teach you and tell you what coins will mint new millionaires. Also, don't forget to check out our crypto trading for blueprint available in the academy. With the blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, trading $100 or even hundreds daily, trading small amounts like $500 a day, trading $500 a day and making around $1 to $200 in profit per day, working about an hour a day. It's written so simple that even a fifth grader can do it. And with the banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. So you can click the link in the description to check it out now and, start safeguarding your future. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Once you lonely. I've been back in Nairobi for about a month and some change now. And I've just been really thinking about how America is set up to make you lonely. Because since I've been back in Nairobi, I have been to so many social events. I'm constantly hanging out with people. People are constantly hitting me up. You need to come here. You need to come here. And it just shows you that America is really set up to make you feel alone. Cause when you feel alone, you waste your money on dumb shit that you don't really need. Look at this. I'm in Kenya right now. And everywhere I go, there's a sense of community. People are constantly checking in on people oh, hey, have you seen Juma? I haven't seen him in a minute. Let's call him up. Oh, there's always people reaching out to you. But in America, you can go for months without even if you die in America, your body is going to be half decayed before somebody finds you. Cause the only time they're going to find you is if they come look at your place. Cause damn, there's a rotten smell coming from your apartment. And I think America did that. They took away that sense of community. Cause when people have a sense of community, they don't stand for bullshit. When I've been here, all the time, I'm always constantly talking to my peoples.
I just want to say something, y'all. I was thinking about this. America is such a messed up place right now. And we all have the same feeling. We have the same feeling. We could have a so-called haunted house, and there would be a bidding war. Literally, you could have a house where two different families got deleted in that house, and people are always seeing things happening in that house. It's like there's a woman standing in the window and and the kids are scared. Kids that nobody even wants to walk by. Y'all, there would be a bidding war for that property. In today's economy, there would be, guys, that house, especially in a really well-known area, they would say, oh, this house is haunted. Really? Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, it really is. Okay, I'm telling you, it really is, and that's going to raise the price of the property. That's just how it is. Are you kidding me? The properties in this house are already expensive. All right, this house shouldn't cost more than 1.2 million. Listen, we have other buyers. The house is 3 million. 3 million for a rundown piece of crap. Okay, I was built back in the 1700s. All right, and it's haunted. All right, people walk in and they're like, oh my gosh, look, the ghost is over there. We're going to be living together. We're your new neighbors. Oh my Can we take a picture? Oh, we need a special camera for that. Guys, it is so true. Y'all know it's true. Y'all, every last one of you know it's true right now. Ghost, ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Some of y'all like angry. Yeah, listen to me. We gonna make it. It's gonna be the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. Come on, guys. Come on. You know I am telling y'all the truth. That's how bad the economy is. Like, because he was just talking about if someone passes away in America, it'll take a minute to find you. They'll only come looking for you once the body starts to smell, the decomposition begins to reek. Guys, that place, if it was an apartment, that place would be the place would be rented so quickly. Oh, someone just passed away in here. I don't care. Well, all right, can we get in quickly? Guys, the fighting that people would get in for that apartment. Someone just passed away. Someone just passed away. Oh well, Godspeed to them. All right. They would. A lot of people even say Godspeed. They would like, oh, so we need to get into this place as quickly as possible. All right, and clean up that dead man smell. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
It's linking up with people. And we're always thinking about, damn, we could do this idea. We could do this idea. And the connections, the opportunities that's coming from that is tremendous. But America kind of wanted to keep you in the rat race. So like, if you knew one of your friends is working on a startup and they need your expertise and y'all came together and y'all built this big startup, would you really need that 9-to-5 job anymore? Probably not. Like, it's really set up to keep you isolated. And also, when you're isolated, what does that contribute to? Depression. Human beings are social creatures. Like, they don't want to be, like, we don't want to be by ourselves. Like, but when you're isolated, you feel depressed. When you feel depressed, you get antidepressant medication. You get medication for anxiety. Like, a lot of the things that we hear about, like in America, in the West, don't really exist here. Like, of course, depression is worldwide, but it's not like everybody's depressed, everybody's on some medication. Like, every kid needs to be on like ADHD medication because they're a kid. Like, come on. Like, I feel like America is just set up to keep us drugged, not thinking like drones. And you can really experience that once you get out here, like once you get out of America and you start traveling, like if you come to a place like Nairobi, Kenya, where like there's a very, very strong sense of community. And like, I haven't seen that in America. Maybe it exists some parts of the South, but like the Northeast, the Midwest, where I seen, like, there's no sense of community. Like, it's everybody for their own. And with everybody being for their own, corporations can maximize profits. Because have you ever thought about, like, why does everybody have to split into 4 different directions when you grow up? Like how over here in Kenya, people can stay at home. Like, you could be 25 years old, still living with your mom and your dad. Have you ever thought about why do you have to get out as soon as you're 18? Why you have to get out as soon as you're 21? Why does everybody need a house instead of taking those resources and putting them together and building something? Like, could you imagine for a second? Let's just say you have a family of 5. And let's say each person is making $50K per year. And that's like 5 people making $50K per year. That's $250,000. Do you not think that with $250,000 coming into one household, if you took that and you invested that, or you tried to build businesses, would that not set up the next generation and have this generation be good? Yes. But why isn't that happened in America. Like I noticed that a lot here. Like other people are working together to build something. Like recently I met a family of very, very wealthy people here. And guess what? They stick together. They're all like, they all are very, very wealthy and they're still living together. Why is that? But why in America, as soon as you start making minimum wage, you got to get out of your parents' house and get your own? Does that make any sense? And it's because America is setting us up for failure. Like, I'm American, I'm proud to be American, but the more I stay outside of America, the more I see how people call it the matrix. Because it really is a matrix. It really is a corporation used to maximize profit off of you. Like, you are the commodities. Whether it's your labor or your health, everything, you are the commodity. Like, when are people gonna wake up and think like, damn, they're really getting our ass? Like, like we're not benefiting from that. Cause like I see a lot of people in the comment section now talking about like, oh, America has its problems, but that. No, America is creating its problems. The problems don't necessarily have to be there. Do we have to make every billionaire a little bit more rich every year? Like, if a company is making like $20 billion, $30 billion a year, is an extra $2 or $3 billion gonna really hurt their pockets? If it's gonna benefit the people of America? No, it's not. But shareholders are not gonna listen to you. And we have been manipulated into thinking like that's normal. Like that's normal. Like we celebrate companies hitting like $1 trillion, making all this, while people can barely buy a house, barely buy food. Like, how can you be working and be on food stamps at the same time? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I'm saying, like, it's designed to make you lonely. It's designed to make you miserable. Because when you're miserable, lonely, and depressed, you're more malleable. Like, happy people are not going to put up with BS. Like, but if you're in a constant state of fear and desperation, you'll do anything. If you don't know where your next meal is going to go to, you're going to go work that overtime. You're going to go work that 12 hours. You're going to go work that minimum wage. And that's all because we have lost our sense of community. We have lost connecting with people. So we always feel alone and we don't have anybody. But just spending time here and building the community of African Americans in Kenya is just showing me how much that is a fallacy. And yeah, if you want to be a part of that community or you're looking for a strong network of people to link up with, definitely book a consultation. I'll get you straight. If you're looking for a place to stay, investment opportunities, all that.
I mean, guys, he says a lot of things that are extremely valid. America wants to make you lonely. America wants to keep you isolated. America is it's a deliberate thing that is done to you, and it's something that our parents do to us, guys. Our parents, many of us, children of the baby boomers, they did this to us. They chose this. They are responsible, and of course, they will try to silence anyone who speaks out against it. The baby boomers are the wealthiest group of people in the history of the world in 200,000 years. They have screwed us over all so bad, it's insane. We literally live to work. We don't work to live. We live to work now. Okay? We have to, I mean, this is how, if you look at something like Walmart, where you have so many people on food stamps working full time at Walmart. And don't get me wrong, it's Walmart, all right? It's not really designed to be sustainable. But I mean, think about it. It's the nation's largest employer. And what they're doing is they will actually teach their employees how to go and apply for food stamps. And we know food stamps aren't free, because we're the ones who are going to have to pay for it. And let me tell you all something, that crap is coming to an end very, very soon. Oh my gosh, it's coming to an end very, very soon, guys. You're going to see that crap come to an end very soon because Trump is not playing around and he's going to cut that. And one of the best things you can do for yourself right now is to begin investing in crypto, because when everything starts to collapse, people are going to be searching for somewhere to put their money, and it's going to be in crypto. We're going to witness the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world in the coming years right now, and it's going to start to boom soon. And what, guys, when Trump buys that $1 trillion of crypto, it's going to be insane. It is going to send every crypto, it's going to send everything skyrocketing. Bitcoin is probably going to hit 200 at minimum of 150K, but maybe 200 or 250,000. That's when everyone's going to start jumping into all these other coins as well. We talk about these coins over in the Crypto Academy and teach you and tell you what they are, but it's going to skyrocket. You guys need to jump on this. One of the best things you also need to do is learn how to day trade crypto. All right, it's, guys, it's a skill. It is a survival skill. Just like some people practice survival physical intimacy, you don't want to be one of those people. You need to learn how to practice. You need to learn how to practice day trading. Okay, we teach you how to do it very easy. We have a blueprint for you in the Crypto Academy. We teach you how to do day trading very easily. You can take $500 and you can day trade $500 and turn that $500, make around at reasonably $100 to $200 a day, working about an hour a day. Or you can or let's say you don't have that kind of money, you can realistically you can day trade $100 and make $30 a day day trading $100. That works out to $900 a month. Or if you do about 500 and you make $100 to $200 a day, that works out to about, realistically, somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000 a month. Probably more like $4,500 a month, depending on how often you do it and so forth. But that's what you're looking at. So you can basically pull in anywhere from, if you do $500 a day, you can pull in anywhere realistically from around 50 to 75,000, almost $75,000 a year, 72 if you want to be exact. But that's what you're realistically looking at. And it's, you don't have, you might have, some of you are like, well, I'm an idiot, I don't know any of this, angry, I just want to keep on doing DoorDash. Guys, a lot of the Hispanic people are doing DoorDash right now. A lot of Hispanic people are doing DoorDash. They're taking that entire thing over. God bless them. And I'm just being real, you're not going to be able to compete with them. A lot of people who are in America right now, they come to other countries, they take that over. And they're not even, it's not just DoorDash, it's Uber. It's like, just straight up Uber, where you get into a car and a lot of these dudes are coming from places like Kenya, or Kenya or Nigeria or whatever other country in Africa, or they come or Dominican Republic, and they're coming from these other countries and they're taking these jobs. And as an American, you're not going to compete, because I'm going to tell you something about how these people operate. The thing is that they have their own communities and they rent to their own people. So, for example, like I had a friend when I lived in Mexico. I had a friend. His mother was in the U.S. She had a room in the U.S. that she was renting for like a little bit of money every single month. You know, and she was renting from other Mexican people. And something like that would be unimaginable for the average American who's paying like $3,000 a month in rent, right? But it's understandable because they have their own communities and they help one another. And it's like America it's set up for extraordinary failure. America is set up to destroy us. America is not a country force. There's no family unit anymore. Many of you love him or hate him. Andrew Tate, this guy talked about this, where, like, over in the Middle East, what these people do is, the princes, they keep all of the money amongst themselves, and they don't all go out and buy a car, like, oh, I'm going to have this car and this and this and this. They have, like, they share everything. They share their homes. They have a big palace. You don't have one, like, every single person does have a palace. No, it does not exist. They all share the palaces. They all share the cars. They share everything, and they keep the money amongst themselves, so they will always be wealthy. Guys, the boomers destroyed everything. They tore America down. The whole individualistic thing, where there's no more family. It was done by the baby boomers. Before the baby boomers, you would have multiple generations of people living under the same roof. They were the first generation to throw their kids out onto the streets and say, go and survive. And some of you commend them for it, saying they just wanted us to learn that the world was a hard place, and the world was a hard place, and this is just how it is. My scumbag father and his siblings, they're still living and sharing what my grandparents left over. Okay, guys, a lot of our grandparents, you don't know. I'm just being real with y'all. A lot of you don't know what your parents have. A lot, and I know you're like, I don't care, but listen to me. You don't know these people are bad people. They're bad people. They stole our days, and they're like, it didn't belong to you, guys. They stole our futures. They stole our legacies. They stole everything. They stole everything that our grandparents left for us. Our grandparents, our great grandparents worked their butts off believing that they would leave something for us, not even just for their bastard kids, for us. All right? And our bastard parents, they stole all of it. They sold it off, they liquidated it, or they're hiding it from us. You don't know. Sometimes you don't even find out that these things were there until after they pass away. And that's if you ever find out. Okay? Our parents did not get tossed out they never got tossed out. Sometimes it was their parents. A lot of times their parents went and just bought them a house. Back in those days, it was normal to be given a house. Their parents would give them their first house, help them buy their first house, or give them their first house. The boomers are liars. They are such terrible liars. They stole our futures right from under us. It pisses me off so bad. That's why, guys, you need to get your money up. You need to invest and what happens is that when you get into, because basically we have multiple, we have the Angry Guy Clubhouse, and we have stuff over there that teaches you how to how to become a passport king and survive overseas. We're going to be adding all of that stuff over there as well. But learning how to day trade crypto is so valuable, because if you become a passport king, you can trade crypto from virtually any country in the world. That's another thing that you need to know about, because like getting out of America, it's going to give you that freedom also to get out of the United States. Learning how to day trade crypto is going to get you, it's going to help you guys. Just investing in crypto, we teach you what coins to invest in, and just investing in crypto is going to set you ahead of the game. Just investing in crypto. And some of y'all are like, I'm sick of hearing about crypto anger. I don't care. I don't care. If you don't listen, we are in for hell right now. Are y'all insane? There is no money. We are going to be heading for like a meltdown level, like in Argentina, probably worse than that. Guys, it's gonna be like Venezuela here. I'm just being real with y'all. It's gonna be like Venezuela. Okay? There is no money. The dollar is going to crash. What Trump is doing, what the reason why he's setting up a reserve of crypto is because the money we have isn't worth anything. So he's trying to take whatever value we have and dump it into crypto as quickly as possible. Okay, guys, they're going to go after the bankers. Some of these people are going to flee the country. Think I'm playing games with you. You're gonna hear that like this banker is missing, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon is missing. They don't know where he is. They can't extradite him because they have no idea what country he's in. They don't even know if he's alive. You're gonna see, guys, these people are gonna flee the country. All these big bankers, they're gonna flee the damn country. That's why when you know how to day trade crypto and you have those skill sets, when you have crypto, when you're invested in crypto and everything goes down, you are going to be that's when you're going to be able to survive, because your money is going to be there working for you. And you basically just you can back up, you can basically put crypto in different places. All right, memorize your recovery phrase. When you create a crypto wallet, you get a recovery phrase, and it's basically a sequence of words, and you can memorize. It's like a sequence of words, like a half dozen words. You can memorize your recovery phrase, commit it to your memory, and as long as you can remember your recovery phrase, you can then basically always have access to your crypto wallet. You can back up your private keys and keep those in a secure place. But in case, let's say you lose everything, you just need to memorize your recovery phrase, and you can always recover your coins no matter what, and no one else can get access to them. And that's one of the things you have to do as men. You have, guys, women. What do you think women are going to do when everything goes to hell? They're going to do the only thing that they know how to do. If they can't go to the church, if they can't go to the government, they're going to go to, because this is how women operate, because the government's no longer providing for them, no longer giving them, subsidizing their living. They're going to try to find men are not helping them, so they can't go to men, because the simp economy is moving overseas. What are they going to do? They're going to go to the streets. All right, listen to me, stay, guys, I already told y'all, stay off the streets and out of the church. All right, stay off the streets and out of the church, because the church is going to be filled with women, and they're going to be in there trying to hustle too. Modern women have completely destroyed their reputations. They've destroyed the image of purity, or of humility, or anything. Most society does not have a very positive view of women today, but women themselves are living in such a narcissistic land, with a narcissistic lens, that they think that they're all perfect. And when you have women like in the UK that are trying, like, having these contests where they're betting 1,000 guys in the same day, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I saw this video of this mother in the UK. I should get the video and put the video on for you guys. Maybe I'll do it in another video, where this mother, her teenage son went to one of these places where this woman was betting 1,000 guys, and she basically demanded her son leave, or she was going to call the police and have the police come and get him. And he started, she's like, put on your clothes, put on your clothes. Jesus help us, guys. Like, this is how destroyed our society is. All right, modern women did this to themselves. They did it. They absolutely did. They did it to themselves, and now they're going to face the consequences of the decisions that they've made. And I'm telling you, it's going to be harsh. And if you don't want to be in tent city, because Trump already said there's not going to be any more homelessness. A lot of y'all don't think, y'all like, oh, that's not true. Like, you're not going to, like, basically, people who are, if you're homeless, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be institutionalized, or you're going to be placed in tent city. Oh, angry, that's not true. That's only for the criminals. I actually saw one of you idiots, that's what I'm calling you. I actually saw one of you idiots in the comments saying that it's not, that I'm not talking the truth, and that Trump is only going to be going after homeless people who commit crimes and create problems in society. It's not all homeless people. Other homeless people will be okay. So if you're just generally homeless, you'll be fine. You'll still be able to sleep on the street. What a you some of y'all are such dummies. Absolute dummies. Some of y'all are such dummies. Real dummies, thinking that you're gonna be able to go and sleep in the street and continue your homeless ways. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely ashamed of yourselves. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts, working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now. Telling y'all, nothing is good. Nothing good is coming. Nothing good is coming. All right? America wants you lonely. America wants you miserable. America wants you suffering. America wants you trapped. It wants you demoralized. It wants you in pain. This is the nature of the country. It's a sad and pathetic nature of the country. There's a video from Brian the Lion. I've actually first time coming across him, I think, and he has a video also discussing this. America wants you to be lonely, because more and more men are waking up to this reality and realizing America doesn't like you. America wants to keep you trapped. It wants to keep you demoralized. It wants to keep you lonely. We're gonna jump into Brian's video, and his channel will be linked in the description of this video, so you can go check him out and support him. And now let's just go ahead and jump right in.
It's your fault. You think you're weak. You're not tough enough. You're not man enough to handle it. But that's not the truth. It's just the system working the way it was meant to. You feel alone. You start getting anxious. You start feeling like everything's off. And boom, now you're on some pill to fix it. Pharmacy. How convenient, right? Big Pharma loves it. America loves it. Everyone wins except you. The person who's just trying to exist in a world that's trying to chew you up and spit you out. But take a step aside, out of that bubble. Travel. Get away from that well-oiled machine and suddenly the whole thing starts looking different. It's like someone pulled the curtain back and you see the truth behind the smoke and the mirrors. You realize not everyone is walking around with a prescription bottle in their pocket. Not every kid is being labeled with ADHD or whatever the syndrome of the day is because they can't sit still for 10 minutes at a desk. And not every adult is living in a constant state of, oh, I gotta work harder, be more productive, have more stuff. It's all a game. And if you're stuck in the middle of it, you're losing. When you step out, especially in places like BGC, Manila, just look how gorgeous this place is. $600 a month I pay to live here. $600. Or look, really any other country that's not living under the thumb of American individualism, you start to notice something strange, something rare. You start to see how much community matters, how much it actually works to have people who check in on you, people who care enough to invite you to things, just to make sure you're doing okay. People who actually take the time to ask you how your day is going. Imagine that. Someone who genuinely wants to know how you're doing. Not because they need something from you, not because they're trying to make a sale, but just because they care. It's almost like a foreign concept, right? Like, did I just step into a different dimension? This isn't some utopia. Sure feels like it compared to the sterile, lonely world you're left with back home in America. You start asking yourself, why don't we have this? Why is it so different? It's as if everyone's been conditioned to think that they need to be independent all the time. Be your own person. Do everything yourself. And what happens? You end up doing everything by yourself. But you also end up doing everything for yourself too. And in that process, you lose sight of what really matters. Connection. Real human connection. Take a place like the Philippines, for example. Over here, the concept of family is sacred. And it's normal for a 25-year-old to still be living at home with their parents. 3 generations under one roof. Why? Why is that? Because family is more important than independence. It's about keeping that bond strong, making sure everyone's okay, not pushing people away because of some arbitrary age that says, hey, you're an adult now, you better figure it out. Bootstraps. But in America, the second you hit 18, GTFO. You better get out. You're supposed to go to college, get a job, buy your own place. And God forbid, if you don't, you're somehow a failure. And in that race to prove you can do it all alone, you forget that maybe there's another way. Maybe there's more value in staying close, in pooling resources together, in making sure the people around you are okay. Have you ever thought about why we're so obsessed with owning property? Why does everyone need a house by 25, 30? I get it. Real estate is the American dream, but it's also a trap. It's a never-ending cycle where you're hustling and grinding just to pay off a mortgage, and for what? A little piece of land that you're never around to enjoy because you're working all the time just to keep it. People are so obsessed with the idea of independence, but it's such a hollow kind of freedom. It's the freedom of feeling isolated, of being on your own with no one to really lean on. And when you're stuck in that loop, it's easy to start believing the lie that this is just the way it is. But when you leave that system, when you look outside the box, you start to see that maybe the whole idea is flawed. What if instead of scattering everyone across the country to fend for themselves, we pooled resources together? What if instead of buying a house that's so far from everyone you care about, you lived in a community where everyone shared responsibilities, supported each other, and helped one another thrive? What if the focus was less on individual success and more on collective well-being? The kind of world we live in now makes you believe that the more you work, the more you own, the better your life will be. But who are you really helping? Yourself? Sure, I guess, but that's it. When you stop looking at life through the lens of how can I get ahead and start thinking, how can we all get ahead? You realize that you don't need to be so alone to be successful. Write that down. That's the shift that happens when you travel, when you see a different way of life, when you step outside the bubble. You start realizing that you don't need to be isolated. You don't need to drown in loneliness to prove you're independent. There's another way, a better way. And maybe it's time to start looking for it. Because once you've seen what's out there, it's hard to go back to the world that only makes you feel like a cog in the machine, just another brick in the wall. And yeah, it's easy to get sucked back in. They keep sucking me back in. But once you've tasted freedom, real freedom, you can never unsee it. You can never forget how it feels to be truly connected, to live in a world where people actually care about each other. And maybe that's the biggest illusion of them all, that you were ever meant to do it all alone. America wants you lonely. I've been back in BGC Manila for less than a week now, and I've had a little bit of time to let it all sink in. This place, it's got a vibe. It's not just the warm weather or the ever-present buzz of activity. Now it's deeper than that. I've been bouncing around, meeting people, catching up with old friends, making new ones. And I can't help but think about how different this is compared to where I've been. America. It's like they set it up specifically to make you lonely. You ever notice that? There's a plan there and it's working. Take Manila, for example. Since I've been back here in the Philippines, BGC, all I've been doing is socializing. Everywhere I go, people are pulling me in, inviting me to stuff. You got to come here. You need to go there. The sense of connection is electric. You don't feel like an island in the middle of the ocean, drifting away from everything. It's the opposite, actually. Everyone wants to be involved in everyone's life. It's the community. It's real and it's alive. It's a stark contrast to what I experienced in America lately. I hate to say it. I really do. I love America. But if you're not careful, you can spend months in a total isolation vacuum. Write that down. Let's be real for a second. In America, they've created this world where you can be completely alone without anyone noticing. You could die in your apartment, and I am not exaggerating. Your body might start to decompose. This has happened before anyone realizes you're gone. It sounds extreme, but it's true. The only way someone might notice is when that smell starts creeping through the building.
I told you. I told you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if the smell starts seeping and people realize that that there's a body in there, they're not going to start to freak out and say, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible." They're going to start to freak out and say, I need to get that apartment, or I have friends or family that want that apartment. Either I want that apartment, or I know someone who wants that apartment. I can get a piece of the money, get a cut of the money for getting that person into that apartment. All right. As soon as they're not worried about the dead bat in there, they want to get the dead bat out as quickly as possible so they can get themselves in or get their people in there. America's a horrible and brutal place, y'all. Some of the most insane. New York City it is a freaking cartoon. It is a cartoon where you have people being controlled, all deleted on the subways, and people are taking pictures and videos and everything. The police are just watching it happen, like they're standing there and just waiting for it to be over. Like there was some guy that came from another country recently, and there was a woman sleeping on the subway, and basically, she got deleted, and she got control alt deleted, and it was a situation where let's just say there was a lot of it's like when you rub two sticks together and you get a fire. Think about it like that, except the fire wasn't in a fire pit, it was upon an individual, and you can basically see, like, flames and stuff like that, and as this person is there, and instead of finding someone trying to get a blanket or putting the person to roll or something, the police officer is like standing there on his phone just chilling, as like waiting for this individual to pass. Like they're standing up, and like you could see, like, flames and the police officer's just like standing there waiting for the individual to pass so that they can, I don't know, maybe they were talking to their wife or something, or their girlfriend was sending over some NUDEs, and they were just chilling and relaxing. There were people taking pictures. The guy who actually did it, he went, sat down on a bench nearby, and was enjoying and relaxing as he watched the entire thing unfold. All right, he didn't even run away. He just sat down and watched and enjoyed himself. And then he claims afterwards he doesn't remember any of it. It's like he was in a dream. This is America, guys. That's why you have to get your money, invest in crypto, get your money, and then get out of this hellhole.
Ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
It's morbid, but someone had to say it. Maybe then someone will take a minute to knock on your door and go, damn, what's that smell? Where's Brian? What's that guy's name in the corner? I think his name was Bob, Brian, Billy. What was his name? By the time they do that, you've already been gone for who knows how long. And why? Because nobody checks in. Nobody gives a damn. That's the design. The system in America has made sure you're separated, disconnected. It's like they've trained you to accept that loneliness is normal. In contrast, here in the Philippines, where I've been living for over a year, in BGC, that community is everywhere. You can't walk down the street without seeing people engaging, checking in on one another, just living life together. The moment you walk into a cafe, a bar, a mall, or really anywhere, you see it. People talking, people caring. Oh, hey, have you seen James? I haven't seen him in a while. How's he doing? Let's give him a call. Let's give him a ringy-dingy. You're never too far from a conversation, never too far from someone who cares enough to make a call, to shoot a text, to ask if you're okay. It's natural. People are invested in each other's lives, in each other's well-being. And that's not something that's just going to happen by accident. It's a culture. It's how they're wired. They don't let each other fall through the cracks. And when I think about this, it hits me. America doesn't want you connected. America doesn't want you feeling like part of something bigger. It's all about the grind, the hustle, the rat race. It's all about isolation, individualism, and spending money on all the nonsense they tell you you need. The stuff that's supposed to fix that void they've created. It's a perfect storm. Make you feel lonely, make you feel like something's missing, and then sell you something that promises to fill that gap. Sound familiar? Maybe it's a car you don't need, a gadget that's just going to collect dust, or some diet pill that'll get you nowhere. It's the same principle. They want you to feel like you're on your own, lost in this consumer-driven nightmare. Because when you feel alone, You spend. You spend your time, you spend your money, you spend your energy. But here, in places like Manila, they're not selling you that emptiness. They're giving you something real. It doesn't matter where you go. You don't have to come to Manila, but that's where I am. The connections I've made in just the short time I've been here are insane. There's always something happening, always someone new to meet. Conversations that lead to new ideas, new opportunities. It's like a constant flow of creativity and collaboration. You walk into a room and suddenly you're talking about starting a business with a guy you just met. Someone's pitching an idea they've been sitting on for months. You see potential everywhere, and you realize it's not about being a lone wolf. It's about being part of something bigger. And that's the beauty of it. When people come together, when they support each other, that's when real change happens. That's when real opportunities come into play. But back in America, no, it's all about being self-made, right? Everyone's out there chasing that same dollar, competing, stepping on each other to get to the top. You got the suits in their offices, the guys with their heads buried in spreadsheets, thinking they're somehow better than everyone else because they can pretend to be busy. We pretend to work, and you pretend to pay us. It's a hamster wheel of stress, competition, and ego. People don't come together to make something greater. They just stay stuck in the grind, repeating the same cycle. I mean, what's the point of getting ahead if it means being alone at the top? And it's not just the big stuff. It's the small moments too. In Manila, people just look out for each other. They don't need an agenda. They don't need something from you. It's that unspoken understanding that at the end of the day, we're all here to help each other out. When's the last time you saw that in America? When's the last time someone just reached out to you to check in with no strings attached? Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe it's about how each society values community, but it's glaring. It is. It's like a slap in the face. The difference is there, and it's not something you can ignore. You get here, the air feels different.
You know what's funny? I tell you about the horrible baby boomers who destroyed Western society and have put us into this cultural hell. And the funny thing is that you have so many boomers who are broke right now, and their first thing, their first go-to, is to look for their kids to try to have their kids subsidize their living, saying that, well, we took care of you, we raised you, so you need to pay us back and give us a roof over our head and a little pocket money. And there are many of you are like, "Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't meet evil with evil. Our parents put us out because they wanted us to know that the world was difficult. They wanted us to understand the world and be prepared for the world. That's why they didn't help us. That's why they left us to fend for ourselves." When I was 5 years old, I pissed myself in kindergarten. My father came to the school, basically left me in the piss, and told me he'd either bring me home and leave me there because he was going back to work, or I could stay there in the piss. I said, "You didn't bring me a change of underwear?" He goes, "No." I was five. And my father used to, at 5 years old, my father used to love to, like, just knock me around a bit. And let me make this clear. There's some of you assholes who will say things like, "Well, you just had bad parents." Bro, this is how my childhood was horrible, and yet it was still better than a lot of Gen Xers. All right? I'm just telling you, it was a nightmare era. There's some Gen Xers who did better than I did. There's some who did worse than I did. All in all, many of us suffered. There's some Gen Xers, there's a handful of them, not as many, who did grow up quite privileged and their parents were good to them. All right? But most of us, our parents told us my father told me to get out at 14, that I needed to get out by the time I was 14. He was telling me that since I was like 6 years old. All right? My father was a very, very mean and evil person. Evil person. This is the person, like, when we wanted toys, my father made, my parents collectively were making like in the range of $100,000 in by like the mid 90s, and that was a lot of money back then. That was 30 years ago. So for, like, for two people that did not have college degrees, that was a lot of money. And my father was the type of guy. It's like when we got toys, he would go and he would basically walk by like the trash and pick up toys out of the trash, bring them home, and say someone threw this out, and these are the things that would rats and roaches would crawl on, and he would tell my mother, "Clean them up, and this is for the kids." You guys wanted toys. Here are your toys. He would go pick them up out of the trash. Let me make this clear. My family, they were high income people. My father would buy car after car after car after car. Once, I mean, sometimes there were times when he'd have like these fancy cars. And he did this all the way throughout his entire life. All right, he absolutely. It's hard when you have to say like your parents hated you. Like you're like as Gen Xers, Gennials, Gen Xers, older millennials, it's like we have to come to the acceptance that our parents hated us and did not want us. And of course they'll come in and say that we did our best for you, we did our best and blah blah blah, and we were just trying to prepare you and now shut up about it. These are bullies. These are nasty, narcissistic, evil people. And the people who preach the most kindness, who are the boomers, will then turn around and they're the least kind people that you will ever meet in your entire life. And they have a very strange relationship with money. The way they work is they'll have everyone else spend their money and while they protect theirs. So a boomer will do everything to protect their money while encouraging you to spend your money on them and on everything else, and even call you cheap. The boomers are mean people. They're very, very mean. They're very, very vindictive. They're very, very spiteful. And I can see Gen Z, and I can see that they're the exact same type of people. They're going to be extremely mean to their kids. They're not going to want to give their kids cell phones. And you're like, cell phones? Yeah. Well, maybe they don't need them. Let me explain. They're not going to want to feed their kids. They're not going to want to buy their kids things. They're not going to want. They're not even want to go. They're not even going to want to celebrate Christmas. They are going to be the meanest of meanest parents because they have the exact same qualities as the boomers. They are going to abandon their children. They're going to be nasty to their children. They're not going to take care of their children or create any type of intergenerational wealth for them. They're going to be the most vindictive group of people you can ever imagine. They are exactly like the boomers. All right? They're extremely narcissistic, extremely mean, extremely spiteful, and extremely irresponsible. That's who Gen Z are, and they're going to be entering into their full blown hippie era soon as the economy gets worse. I'm the first one to call it because they're basically the modern day hippies, and this right now it's going to look like the golden. Right now, it's going to look like the golden era of Gen Z, even though they're creating all kinds of problems in the workforce and society. Right now is like the best it's going to get because as many of them end up into and continue to transition into deep states of poverty and destitution, they're going to enter into their full-blown hippie era where they're going to be squatting and stealing. They won't be able to live in mom and dad's basement forever. Many of them will not have that option, and many of them will not have anything. All right, and they'll be in the streets squatting and stealing. And then some of you jerkwads are going to say, "Well, angry, whose fault is that?" It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I don't know what the hell. It's the boomers. It's the boomers, and the same boomers who are then going to jump on this video and say things like, you need to stop blaming us. Okay, it's the other people. It's the people that are behind the curtain. It's you. You are the people behind the curtain. You own 80% of the stock market. You own the vast majority of all assets at companies like BlackRock that are making this world a much more miserable place to live. All right, it's you. It's you. You are the history. You're the wealthiest generation in the history of the world. The average baby boomer is wealthier than citizens of the Roman Empire during the greatest heights of the Roman Empire. The average Roman citizen did not have to work during the heights of the Roman Empire. And the average boomer is significantly wealthier than the average Roman citizen was thousands of years ago. The greatest empire on earth, the wealthiest empire on earth. These people are wealthier than them. And it's understandable because so many boomers today, they have net worths of millions of dollars. What they did was they basically they stole from our futures. That's what that just let me make it clear. They stole from our futures, and the way they did it was by using inflation. So what they kept on printing money endlessly, and they kept all of their assets in the stock market. They kept all of their assets in real estate. They kept all of their assets in tangible things, and they only kept small amounts of. And then they bought things like gold and silver. So they bought tangible assets, and then what they did was they forced all of us to go to college and get these expensive degrees so we'd always be paying back into the system. They threw us out, and they made society go from it went from it went from a society of homeowners to a society of home renters. So now most people in society, aside from the boomers, are renting. So we actually have a renters economy now, where everyone will be renting for the rest of their lives, except for the boomers who owned all of the property. And they basically they bought their houses when they were dirt cheap, and then they held on to these houses indefinitely. And as inflation rose, the value of their properties rose, the value of their assets rose, while the value of cash decreased. So while we were holding scant amounts of cash and never able to acquire real assets, tangible assets, the boomers continually acquired assets and held on to the assets that they had. So now the money increasingly is worth not less and less and less, and inflation is just a form of reverse taxation. So, and keep in mind, roughly half of every tax dollar collected goes to subsidize the living of the boomers, and it's only going to get worse. This goes to provide food for them, it goes to provide housing, shelter, Medicaid, all of these programs. Half of every American dollar collected goes towards the boomers, the wealthiest generation in the history of humanity in the last over the course of 200,000 years. And we're just supposed to sit here and take it and be quiet by this group of narcissistic bullies? I don't think so. I think not. Guys, we're going to see the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of humanity. And one good thing when it comes to crypto is most boomers don't really understand it. Thank God. I'm not saying all don't, but the vast majority don't, and they're lazy. So we're going to be selling our crap coins to these horrible individuals, these terribly bad apples, or we'll be selling our crap coins to them, and that transfer of wealth is going to set us up for our futures. Those of us who are smart. Many of you hate crypto, that's fine. Sit on the sidelines. You can go hang out in Tent City with Tyrone, and let Tyrone, just remember, Tyrone is the king of Tent City, and he rules Tent City with an iron fist. Guys, most men feel abandoned by society, but it's all good because men are going their own way. They're focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their relationship with God, and they're getting their money up. They're getting their money straight, and that's what you should be doing. Don't worry about the nonsense that's going on out here right now. Don't worry about it. Okay, your focus should be on yourself, your relationship with God, and getting your money, getting invested in crypto, building out your business, building your brand, but not these people, not this crap society that could care less about you.
You breathe easier because you know that if something goes wrong, someone's got your back. And if you got a good idea, there's a good chance you'll find someone here who wants to make it happen with you. That's the power of community. That's the power of connection. And man, if you could bottle that, you'd have a magic elixir that would make all the loneliness in America just disappear. It's almost like America designed everything with one goal in mind: make you feel disconnected. And it's not just some random innocent byproduct of how things turned out. This is by design. They want you isolated. They want you to be a lone wolf. And what happens when you're isolated? You feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And suddenly depression starts creeping in, doesn't it?
The thing is that once you start being kind, once you start protecting your assets, once you start, be polite, but don't be kind. Once you do what the Japanese do, you start to feel much better. When you're giving everything away to everyone else, people that don't care about you, that would never even help you in the worst. Like they could, like literally, it could be something small, and they're like, yeah, man, I can't do anything. Listen to me. When you stop trying to help everyone else and focus on yourself, and you learn how to be more selfish, that's when you really start to feel better. And there's a lot of simps out there who are going to say that's a load of crap. Let me tell you something. Don't listen to these men. Do not listen to these men, because these men are not kind men. These men, either they are fools, or they are either they are fools, or they haven't are they're just they're men who are trying to take advantage of you, because they're not kind people themselves. They're the most unkind people, like the boomers, but they live off the kindness of others, and they prey off the kindness of others. These are predators. So you have to be very, very careful of these people. The boomers, these people are predators. These people took advantage of us. They preyed upon their kids. They preyed upon society. They preyed upon everyone, and they stole our futures while we were still in diapers. And that's why we have to be very, very careful. That's why we have to focus on our wealth, focus on our relationship with God, focus on ourselves, focus on our health. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. It doesn't matter what you have to do, guys. Get that weight off. If you are overweight right now, if you're struggling with your weight, okay, the food that we eat is designed to destroy us. So even a lot of us, our bodies are messed up, our metabolisms are messed up because of the garbage. You're wondering why you're not losing weight. There is no shame in using things. If Ozempic works for you, use it. If Manjaro works for you, use it. If Southbound works for you, use it. All right. Basically, weigh the risk and do what you have to do to get yourself in shape, get your body back in shape. It doesn't. You don't owe anything to anyone. I don't care what anyone says in my comments right now, because it's that they can. Oh, you're supposed to leave. Listen, you need to develop healthy eating habits. But let me tell you something. The food is garbage. All right. We're basically convinced that you need to starve. I used to live overseas, and when I lived overseas, I was like so skinny, and I used to eat, but it's like different over there because you're not always miserable, and the food is just different. So you can eat all of this food. You can eat like carne asada. You can eat oh my gosh, carne del res, and all these different things. You know carnitas, what do you like, chicharrones. Oh my gosh, menudo. Oh my gosh, esta es muy rico. Yo, I'm telling y'all, it's bueno. Esta es muy bueno. Pero guys, if you go overseas and you explore, you'll be shocked what's waiting for you over there. And like I said, learning another language, I have to. Yo necesito practicar mi español mucho más. Es no bueno, es muy malo, pero yo entiendo poco poco. I still need to work on my Spanish. I still I basically learned how to speak really good, much better Spanish during the whole events of 2020. But I things happen, so I need to refine it. And one of the best ways to learn a language is just to have Spanish speaking friends, and they'll teach you very quickly. Or if you want to go to another country, you want to learn Japanese, have Japanese friends, and they'll teach you very quickly. Okay. But yeah, guys, that's really how everything is. What do you guys? And by the way, guys, shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. Shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. You guys know who you are. If you've been watching up to this point, 1 Hour Gang. Shout out to you. It's all about you. You guys are, you guys are the OGs. You guys are, guys, how I feel about you guys. All right, you guys keep holding it down. So shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. Shout out to the 1 Hour Gang. Most men feel abandoned by society, but men are going to rise up for this. It's going to be women who really struggle because they're not going to have anyone to be there for them, to provide for them, to help them. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away, and cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.